Alrighty, everyone, from that clickety clack sound means it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 12, season 1. And today's date is July 31st, 2022. And thank you for joining me. Here is the lineup of today's show. From the 1950s, I will talk about the Alan Young Show. From the 1960s, Surfside 6. From the 1970s, the Bugaloos. From the 1980s, Flamingo Road. From the 1990s, Bagdad Cafe. From the 2000s, it will be the TV show Titans. And first time in the 2010s, I would do a show called Law and Order Los Angeles. So this would be fun. So I'm not doing anything from the 1940s, not today. Okay. So right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Secret Deodorant. And here's a commercial from 1970s. And if you listen closely to the woman who's speaking, you might recognize her by her voice. If not, I will reveal who it is. Okay, so here we go.
Janice! Janice!
Over here. I forgot my antiperspirant.
What?
Secret roll-on.
Secret? Why can't you use my spray?
Because nothing beats secret roll-on for stopping wetness, not even your He-Man spray.
Secret strong?
Mm-hmm. It really helps keep me dry.
Well, if it's that strong, we'll both use it.
Oh, no. Secret's for women. It smells pretty. See?
Pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as long as it's strong.
Sorry, darling.
Secret roll-on, strong enough for a man but made for a woman.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Secret Deodorant. The woman that is speaking in the commercial is none other than Joyce DeWitt, who is best known for Janet Wood on the TV classic Three's Company. She did a couple other commercials, most famously for Legs Pantyhose. She did that during Three Companies run of that. She's a lovely lady. I loved her, and after Three's Company ended, she took a break. She didn't act for about over 10 years, maybe longer, and then she returned. And then, but she's still well known. She's still well known as Janet. Reruns live forever. The product Secret is still around. It introduced in 1956, and they're famous for their commercials. I think not much in the 60s, but in the 70s and 80s you saw that. And they also had that famous slogan, "Strong enough for a man, but made for a woman." And that was I don't think they still use that anymore. But then they introduced certain products with scents, roll-ons, deodorants, et cetera, and still available. Okay. All right. So in the beginning of the program, I explained about the lineup of today's show. So we're going to get on it right now. First show coming up, the Alan Young Show. And of course, it starred Alan Young, the comedian. And he was a very funny man. I liked him a lot, and he's famous for known as Wilbur Post from Mr. Ed. Wilbur, I love that show so much. Oh, I love Mr. Ed. And a lot of people just knew him from that. A lot of people didn't know that he had another TV series early on in the 50s. And also, he starred in a lot of movies, famous for The Time Machine, and he was the voice of Scrooge McDuck in DuckTales and other Disney animated films and TV shows. He started doing Scrooge McDuck in the 1983 movie A Christmas Carol, Mickey Mouse: A Christmas Carol. He did that, and so I will talk about the Alan Young Show first. And it was also a radio show first. And it began in 1944. It was a sitcom. Okay. And then first it was on ABC Radio. Then it went to ABC Radio. And then it went back to NBC. And then one cast member of the radio show was Jim Backus. And he played a character called Hubert Upguide III, which is the same as Thurston Howell III in Gilligan's Island. I love him. He was great. And then they moved to television, and the Ellen Young Show debuted April 6, 1950. And it was not a sitcom. It was a variety show. And first he would get on and do a monologue and do some sketches. And there were some singers. And it was very, very popular at the time. So right now I'm going to play the theme song, and sponsored by Esso Oil. Gas, oil. That's what it is. Okay. So here is the Alan Young Show from the 1950s. Here we go.
Come on, let's go to the Alan Young Show.
Presented by Esso Standard Oil Company and 25,000 independent Esso dealers.
You get something more at your happy motoring store. You get more to cheer for.
With new Esso Extra Gasoline.
You get more value.
With Esso Extra Motor Oil.
You get warranted protection.
In Atlas tires and batteries.
Yes, for more happy motoring.
See your nearby Esso dealer.
Yes, you get something more at your happy motoring store. And you get more fun with Alan Young.
Howdy, little partners of the X-Bar-X television ranch. Is your old television cowboy, Two-Gun Young, talking to you? Yes, sir. Now, I reckon you've been hankering to see me since our last roundup. Well, I want to tell you, I reckon to be hankering up... I ranker to be heckin'... I reckon a hecker... Howdy, little partners at the X-Bar-X Ranch. I want to tell you, little fellas, we've been receiving a lot of complaints from your parents who say you got to be setting up too late to watch this here program. Well, I want to tell you, starting tomorrow night, we're going to be seen 1 hour earlier. Midnight.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of the Alan Young Show. More information about this show. Let's see. The show took a break in March 1952, and when it returned almost a year later, they went. It became a sitcom format, and cast was Alan Young, played a bank teller, and also Dawn Adams, cast as his girlfriend. Excuse me. And that didn't last very long. It lasted about a couple of months, and it was canceled at the end of the season. But Alan Young received 2 Emmy Awards for this show. And there's some video on YouTube. If you care to watch, you would see Alan Young perform. I watched a couple. He's pretty funny. I like him, but this is the 50s. It's kind of rocky and like that. So as I said in the beginning, Alan Young started in the sitcom Mr. Ed from 1961 to 1966. Then he took a break from acting. Then he returned, and then he did voiceovers, appeared in sitcoms, movies. He did everything. He was wonderful. And he passed away on May 19th, 2016. He was 96 years old. Wow. Wonderful. And he made appearances with Mr. Ed. It wasn't really Mr. Ed. It was just a horse, because Mr. Ed died... from what I heard, he died in 1968. Yeah, he was old, and so his real name was Bamboo Harvester, and it was a Palomino. So, but Alan Young loved that horse. He really did. He was like his buddy. So He was a wonderful man, very talented. Okay, next up, I will talk about Surfside 6. Oh, I love this show. I've watched I have never seen it when it aired. I was too young. I wasn't born yet when it aired, of course. But I saw a few reruns on TV, and also I bought a bootleg DVD that was recorded on the Good Life channel. Has not been officially released on DVD. I wish it would. I would buy it in an instant. And so I will give a little background on the show. Okay. The show premiered on October 6, 1960, was canceled on June 25th, 1962. That was the last show it aired. And it had a good cast. Ran for 2 seasons, 74 episodes. And it starred Troy Donahue as Sandy Woodfield II, also Van Williams as Kenny Madison. This character appeared in another TV series the year before called Bourbon Street Beat. It had a catchy theme song like that. That was set in New Orleans, but Surfside 6 is set in Miami, so he just moved over there. And then you have Lee Patterson as Dave Thorne. Also, Diane McBain as socialite Daphne Dutton. She's still alive to this day. And she's on Facebook if you want to connect with her. That's wonderful. And last, it was Spanish actress Margarita Sierra, and she was Cha-Cha O'Brien. Oh, I loved her. Sometimes her English was hilarious. She was like Desi Arnaz talking. And her character worked at the Boom Boom Room at the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami Beach, which I've been there. I've been to the Fontainebleau. I like the hotel; it's gorgeous, and it was right on Miami Beach. You just walk there and go on the beach. That's nice. I went there about 25 years ago, and I like to go back again. That's nice. So Surfside 6 was, in fact, a real address in Miami Beach, and so that's amazing to learn that. There's a lot of history about that. So the show basically was like some like the other Warner Brothers shows, Hawaiian Night, 77 Sunset Strip, wonderful shows. And, they are involved. They were private investigators. They tried to find, solve crimes and all that. And also they had a little entertainment, where Margarita Sierra, Cha-Cha O'Brien entertained. But she was involved in cases too. So that's great. And it was not great in the ratings, but the teenagers during that time loved the show. Oh, they loved it. And because of the cast, you had Troy Donahue, who was a famous movie actor for A Summer Place, and a lot of girls found him dreamy. So he was a good actor. And then, so right now I'm going to play the theme song for Surfside 6, excuse me. So it's a memorable, it's catchy, and you'll love it. So sit back and enjoy. Thank you, everyone.
Surfside 6. Surfside 6.
Where is it?
In Miami Beach. Surfside 6.
Starring Troy Hugh,
Surfside 6.
Van Williams,
Surfside 6.
Lee Patterson,
In Miami Beach.
co-starring Diane McBain and Margarita Sierra.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song. Oh, love the theme song. Let's see, more information about the show. Yeah, it was canceled in 1962, and then after that, Troy Donahue moved over to the cast of Hawaiian Eye and replaced Anthony Isley. He loves the show. And Margarita Sierra died in 1963. That's a shame. But 1 year later, she had a heart condition, which is terrible. She I don't know if she did any other acting roles. Not much. I don't think so. And she's a very interesting lady. She was born in Madrid, Spain. And she sang, she danced, she did everything like that. But she was so young. She was 27 years old. Wow, that's sad. That's very sad. And also, Van Williams later on went to star in The Green Hornet, and then you have Lee Patterson. He did some movies, some TV shows, but he did mostly soap operas, like One Life to Live, uh, Another World, Texas. People remember that, And he died. Let's see, in 2007. Yeah. And let's see. Like I said before, Diane McBain is still around. She's on Facebook if you'd like to connect with her. And Troy Donahue died in 2001. No, it's a shame. And Val Williams died on November 28th, 2016. So I like the show. I hope it comes back, reruns, or you would get a DVD release. It's hard, because people are clamoring for the DVD release of 77 Sunset Strip and Hawaiian Night. Oh, I would love those. That's a very successful show. I don't know. I think it's music rights or some weird, strange reason. And then let's see what else. The houseboat that was filmed during the show was damaged in 1964 when Hurricane Cleo hit Miami. So that boat is gone. But if you're ever in Miami Beach, maybe you could find the address and see. Oh, there was the houseboat where the gang was. That'd be great. So that's a shame. Okay. Next up, I will talk about another weird show. This one was the Bugaloos. Now, I did watch the show when it aired. I'll give you a little history of that, and it has a very interesting history. So here we go. It was premiered on September 12th, 1970, ran for 1 year, and then reruns aired the following year, and that was the end. And it last show aired in September 2nd, 1972. It only had 17 episodes, so that's it. So it was from the creators of Sid and Marty Krofft, best known for H&R Puffin Stuff, Lidsville, Land of the Lost, and what else? Oh, Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. My favorite was Lidsville. I love that with Charles Nelson Riley. I would talk about that show at a later date, so that'd be fun. So the show consisted of there were 4 teenagers. They were musicians, and they wore wings and antennas. They were like insects. And it took place of Tranquility Forest, and it was like a hippie-like place, peace-loving, and they're always pursued by an old crone, a very ugly woman. Her name was Benita Bizarre, played by Martha Raye. Oh, I love Martha Raye. And she lived in a gigantic jukebox, and she had her own music, and it was ugly, terrible, and it was blaring all over the place. And she would try some schemes to either, to capture them, to enslave them, destroy them, whatever it did. Never happened. It's just like Witchy Poo from H&R Puffin Stuff, which incidentally, Martha Raye starred as Boss Witch in the film of H&R Puffin Stuff. So they got that idea from her. I never seen the movie of that. I want to see it sometime. And she had a weapon called the Stereo Zapper. And the Bugaloos sometimes were traveling around in a Bugaloo buggy. And the car was built by George Barris, who also designed, I don't know if he designed it, probably built the Batmobile from the TV series Batman. So it was like a lot of people thought it was like the British version of the Monkees. Well, I've only seen a couple of the episodes. I remember, but other cast members. So the cast of the Bugaloos were the cast members was IQ, Harmony, Courage, and Joy. Okay, and the villains was of course Benita Bazaar, and Woofer and Tweeter were anthrop- anthropomorphic stereo speakers. You know, like they spoke, but they were not bright. And excuse me, there was also Funky Rat, and she was Benita's chauffeur, and also her flunky. And the costume was also used as Boss Witch's chauffeur, Enrique Rat, in the movie Puffin stuff. So they got that. And other supporting characters was Sparky the Firefly. Billy Barty played him. Nutty Bird, Peter Platter. There was a microphone. His name was Mike. And there was also Frog Magician, Magico the Magician. Gina Lola Wadich, she was like that. Bluebell Flower, a giant talking flower. And also the Grapevine, there were a bunch of talking grapes. And it's funny. The music was great. It really was. So right now I'm going to play the theme song of Bugaloos, and I'll talk a little more about the show. Okay? So here we go.
The Bugaloos?
The Bugaloos, we're in the air and everywhere, flying high, flying loose, flying free as a summer breeze, happy as a summer breeze. The Bugaloos, we're in the air and everywhere.
Okay, I'm back. I hope you ever enjoyed the theme song for the Bugaloos. Let's see. Martha Ray, very funny lady. She's been a comedian since the movies in the 40s. I remember her role in an Abbott Costello movie, and she played twins. And she played a funny lady and a very serious lady. So, and she gave Luke Costello a hard time. She was in a diner. He was in a diner, that is. Okay. And she's also famous for her commercials for Polident, the Big Mouth. She was nicknamed that. Unfortunately, she died October 19th, 1994 at age 78. The show Bugaloos was released on DVD years ago, a long time ago. And it's hard to find it. It was released about almost 15 years ago. It had all the episodes. If you try to find it, maybe on eBay, I'll try to buy it. I haven't bought it yet. I should have, but let's see. The cast members were interviewed. The four of them, the Bugaloos, were interviewed. So that'd be interesting. But I listened to their songs. They were pretty good. Very good and talented, but they're English. So so another TV show went into oblivion. I'm sorry. That's the way it is. Okay. Next up, from the 1980s, Flamingo Road. And Flamingo Road was based on a novel written by Robert Wilder. And it was based on the 1949 movie of the same name that starred Joan Crawford. I've seen the movie about maybe 2 or 3 times. It's a good movie. Joan Crawford is excellent. She didn't play not a nasty woman. Not really. Other movies, yes. This one, no. And so I'll give you give you the introduction of the Flamingo Road. Here it is. It was first a TV movie. First aired May 12th, 1980. It ended May 4th, 1982. It ran for 2 seasons, 38 episodes, and it had a good cast. And it took place in a fictional town called Truro, Florida. It was inside the corner of the Panhandle, and it involved a lot of characters from the show who had ties to the wealthy Weldon family. And the mansion was located on this ritzy road called Flamingo Road. Like that. And it had a good cast, and like I said before, and it was like a typical soap opera, just like at the time there was Dynasty, there was Dallas, and then Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, and so NBC tried their first soap opera there. They almost succeeded, but it didn't work. So here's the cast of the show. Here we go. It starred Howard Duff as Titus Semple. He was the corrupt sheriff. He was sort of J.R. Ewing at the time. He also played a similar character. He played a character in Knots Landing later on, but he was a senator. Okay, and starred Mark Harmon. You know him from NCIS. He played Fielding Carlisle. And also the rest of the cast was John Beck, Woody Brown, Peter Donat. Also, you have a vixen. Every show needs a vixen. Morgan Fairchild. She was excellent. And let's see. Then we had Kevin McCarthy. You remember him from Invasion of the Body Snatchers from the 1956 film. Also, Christina Rains. She's famous for that movie, The Sentinel, that came out in 1977. Oh, that movie is disturbing. The only thing I liked about that movie, they had a birthday party for a cat. I love that part. Also, there was 2 actresses very well known in television, Barbara Rush and Stella Stevens, and they were great. They were wonderful. And also Charlie Robinson, he was the bartender at Luda May's bar, played by Stella Stevens. He's famous for Mac and Night Court. And let's see, who else was in there? Also, David Selby was in season 2. And he played the same character as Richard Channing on Falcon Crest. So once this show was canceled in 1982, he got moved over to Falcon Crest, and he played Richard Channing till all the way to the end. And he's marvelous, wonderful actor. I loved him in Quentin Collins in Dark Shadows. So he was an idol, TV idol, and now wonderful man. And the show did okay, and then it didn't. So when I come back, I will talk a little bit more of the show. So here is the theme song of Flamingo Road from season 1. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Flamingo Road. A lot of the actors went into other shows. Like, for example, John Beck went over to Dallas, and he played Victoria Principal's boyfriend. And after separated with Bobby Ewing, I will talk about Victoria Principal in another show coming up. She starred in Titans, so that'd be interesting. Also, Mark Harmon went to NCIS. Morgan Fairchild did a lot of television, and then she did star in Falcon Crest for about a year. You know, she was good in that. She played Jordan. She was a lawyer, but she had like multiple personalities. She was good in that show. She really was. And Stella Stevens, you know, I remember her, she starred in The Nutty Professor with Jerry Lewis in 1963. And I don't know if she's still acting, you know, but I liked her. And her famous son is Andrew Stevens. He used to be married to Kate Jackson. So Kate Jackson was her ex-mother-in-law. So that was funny like that. So, a lot of people don't remember this show and went into oblivion, but I did. I did watch it, a few episodes. I liked it. It kept my interest. You know, it was a good old-fashioned soap opera. You know, and it's a shame. Hopefully, it comes out in DVD. I'd buy it. I really would. Okay. Next up, we got Bagdad Cafe, and it's a sitcom. And this ran for 2 years, 15 episodes, and it premiered on CBS March 30th, 1990, ended July 27, 1991. And this is based on the 1987 movie. I remember the movie. I never saw it. I heard it was very good, and maybe someday I'll watch it. So, anyway, so let's see. It was a good show. It was set in a cafe in Baghdad, California. And let's see. The plot was there were some German tourists, and they fight when they're driving across the desert. And she left the car, and then she stopped at an isolated truck stop, which is run by the owner. And in the movie, it starred Marianne Sagerbrecht and also CCH Pounder, which Whoopi Goldberg plays her role, and Gene Stapleton played Jasmine. So I'll get into that in a second. Also in the movie was Jack Palance and other. So like I said, I wanted to see the movie. It was released in the United States in 1988. And it was good. So now the TV series, let's see. Gene Stapleton's character was not from Germany, so that's out. And it was just a regular sitcom. So here is the cast. So Whoopi Goldberg played Brenda. Gene Stapleton played Jasmine. James Gammon was Rudy. And Cleavon Little was Sal. So I think he was probably Whoopi Goldberg's husband. I don't know. I'm not sure. And the show ended because Whoopi Goldberg got into, there was conflict with the co-executive producer. So she quit the show. She didn't want to do it anymore. So that's a shame. All right. So right now I'm going to play the theme song for Bagdad Cafe. Okay. So here we go.
A desert road from Vegas to the way, someplace better than where you've been. A beat of stone that needs some fixing in a little cafe just around the bend.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction to Baghdad Cafe. I watched the show. I remember when it premiered in 1990. I liked it. Jean Stapleton is wonderful. I liked her a lot. And Whoopi Goldberg was okay. This was her first sitcom role. She started her own show, Whoopi, that was in 2003 or four. I'll talk about that someday about that. That ran for a year, and like I said before, Baghdad Cafe wasn't successful. There was behind the scenes turmoil, and that was the end of that. So that's a shame. I like the show very much, and also Whoopi Goldberg was famous for playing Guinean in Star Trek: The Next Generation. I think her first TV role was in Moonlighting. I remember she guest starred in the show. Of course, she won the Best Supporting Actress Oscar for Ghost, and also she was in The Color Purple. I think that was her first movie role. I believe it was, and now she's on The View, so you can watch her every day. I like her. I don't like her. I don't like her on The View. I like her. I like her when she's funny. When she was sort of like Lily Tomlin type. I like that. Yeah, but politics brings out the worst in people, I guess. If you like it, you hate it. If you don't, well, we'll see. Okay. Next up, from the 2000s, I'm going to talk about the Titans, and it was another soap opera from NBC. And it aired 13 episodes. So it premiered on October 4th, 2000. October 4th is my birthday. And it ended at December 18th, 2000. So it ran about 2 months. It's not very short. And it was like Dynasty, only for the new millennium. Produced by Aaron Spelling, from Dynasty Hotel, Love Boat, The Colbys. He did it all. Beverly Hills 90210 and Melrose Place. Okay. But this is his first soap opera on NBC. It had a good cast. So here's the premise of the show. There was an aviation magnate, Richard Williams, played by Perry King from Riptide. And he's engaged to a younger lady. Her name is Heather, played by Yasmin Bleeth, who is famous from Baywatch. And he was unaware that she had an affair with his son, Chandler, who played by Casper Van Dien, who was a pilot. And let's see. And then Chandler discovers that his future stepmother is pregnant with his child. Oh boy, that'll be great. So, and then so I'll give you the cast of the characters. Main cast, that is. And also Richard's ex-wife Gwen, played by Victoria Principal, lived across the street. She lived in a mansion, so whenever anyone had problems, they went to her. Also, Chandler had a brother named Peter, played by John Barrowman. Oh, he was a nasty guy. And he found out about the affair. So I'm going to go down the list real quick. And here we go. So we have Yasmin Bleeth and Casper Van Dien, also Perry King, Victoria Principal, John Barrowman, also Elizabeth Bogus, she played the other daughter, and Josie Davis played the other daughter. So it was Jennifer and Laurie. And the other people in the show was Jason George. You might remember him from Grey's Anatomy. He was there. Also Jack Wagner from General Hospital, Melrose Place. He played Richard's brother. He was there. He appeared in a few episodes. Then we have Ingo Rademacher. He's famous for his role at General Hospital. I don't think he's there anymore. And you have Kevin Zegers. He played Ethan Benchley. He played his nephew, I think. And he started later on. So you need a young, attractive man to get the audience like that. And I watched the soap opera. I did. I watched every episode. The last two episodes did not air on network television. They aired later. So it is on YouTube, I believe, last time I looked. So maybe if I have a chance, I'll go watch the end of it. then so right now I'll play the theme song of Titans, and then when I come back, I'll talk about a little more trivia about that show. Okay, so here it is. Thank you. Okay, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Titans. Let me give you a little more trivia of the show. I watched the show, like I said before, it was very good. And because I'm a soap opera nut, I love soap opera, especially prime time. It had promise, but ratings were not good. So, and Victoria Principal, who played Gwen, was very good. She was not nasty. She was not a nasty lady in the show, so she was. She didn't like her ex-husband's new fiance. So you see the Alexis Crystal thing from Dynasty like that. There was rumors that they were going to bring in Joan Collins to the show and also Donna Mills, but that didn't work out. That didn't happen. And then the other cast members, I will tell a little bit about. Casper Van Dien was married to Catherine Oxenberg, who played Amanda Carrington on Dynasty. And also John Barrowman. He's famous for Malcolm Merlin from the TV show Arrow. He was something. He was wonderful. I liked him. He was also in what's that TV show? Torchwood. He was good, and he's from Joliet, from my neck of the woods, and Joliet, Illinois, that is. And he's got that, he's got that Scottish accent. Anyway, the daughters, one daughter, Josie Davis, who played Laurie, she starred in Charles in Charge with Scott Baio and Willie Ames. She was a little girl back then, but she's a very beautiful lady right now. She always has been. So, other cast members started in other shows. So it's a shame. So here's another show, went into oblivion. Gone. Okay. Last show I'm going to talk about is my first show from the 2010s. And it is Law and Order LA, or originally titled Law and Order Los Angeles. And it was the same as the other Law and Order and the other from the franchise, like SVU, Criminal something. I forgot those, because I'm not a big Law and Order fan. Not really. It's a good show, but sometimes the episodes are kind of depressing in a way. So, but here's the list of the TV shows that Law and Order had the franchise. It was Law and Order, Special Victims Unit, Criminal Intent. That's what I meant. Try by Jury, LA, True Crime, Organized Crime, Hate Crimes, and also they had a film called Exile. Okay. So, Law and Order premiered in 1990 and just took off, created by Dick Wolf, of course. I mean, if you watch the end of a show, you'll see the wolf howling, at the end credits. Okay, so I'll give you a history of the show of Law and Order Los Angeles. It ran for 1 year, 22 episodes, and it premiered September 29th, 2010, and it last aired July 11th, 2011. It had an interesting cast, and but there was I don't know, behind the scenes stuff going on. And I'll give you the main cast of characters and who played. And we had Alfred Molina. He played Ricardo Morales, and he was a deputy district attorney. and then he became a detective. And he's famous for his role as Dr. Octopus in the Spider-Man movies, which he was brilliant. I love him. Also, the police were Skeet Ulrich, played Rex Winters. He's famous for his role as Forsyth Jones, the second, I believe, on the TV show Riverdale. He's not on the show anymore. I liked him a lot. He was great. And there was Corey Stahl. He played LAPD junior detective. Also, we have as a character for Arlene Gonzalez, there were two actresses that played. Wanda De Jesus played in the pilot, and Rachel Ticotin played in the series. Also, the prosecutors was Terrence Howard. Do you remember him from Empire? Yeah, remember that? And Iron Man, I think. And there was also Alana de la Garza. She played a deputy district attorney. And there was Regina Hall. She played a district attorney. Wow. That's probably one of her earliest roles, I guess. And, she's a wonderful actress. And let's see. So you get confused with Regina Hall and Regina King. Regina King was from 227. I always get those two mixed up. And sometimes they look alike in a way, but they're not. They're two different people. And also Megan Boone was Lauren Staton, another deputy district attorney. And also Peter Coyote played Jerry Harden. He was in the show. So I'm going to play the theme song for Law and Order LA. It's different from the usual theme song of Law and Order. It has like a synthesizer sound. Sorry. So here it is. Sit back and enjoy. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Law and Order. Los Angeles, of course. There was it didn't do well in the ratings, and there was a cast turnover. And the character Rex Winters, played by Skeet Ulrich, was killed on the show. The character, that is, not the actor. And then it was during a drug bust or anything, and he left. And and the other characters, Regina Hall left as well. And then they brought in replacements. So that happened, which is a shame like that. And so I watched the show. I remember watching it. It was pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a big Law and Order fan. I mean, it's great. It's a great show, but so it was good. It was a very good show, and it's a shame. So the other cast members went on to do other things, like especially Terrence Howard. You remember him from Empire. He was a good show. He really was, and did a lot of movies. If you remember him, he was in Dead Presidents, Mr. Holland's Opus. Remember that? And he was in Crash. Remember that movie? Yeah, very good. Hustle and Flow. Wow, that's good. So he's still acting to this day. He's wonderful. And let's see what else. Of course, Empire. He played Luscious Lion. That's a good show. I watched that. That ran for 5 years. It was a good soap opera. Very, very popular. Okay. So that's all for today for episode 12. for TV Oblivion. This once it will be published soon, and then you can listen to it. It'll be available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Amazon Music, Spotify. Also, I have my YouTube channel called TV Oblivion. It'll be uploaded soon. You can listen to that. I also have my other podcast, Vanishing Chicagoland Stories. Last episode I did was yesterday. That was episode 152. You can listen to wherever that is available. Next episode will be episode 13. Will be probably this weekend. So it will be fun. Okay. So this is Speak Astonish, your host of TV Oblivion, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed the show. And right now, the ending theme song is the Pick and Pluck song. I like that. And I had a good time. I really did. So here, before I sign off, here's the lineup that I discussed. The Alan Young Show, Surfside 6, The Bugaloos, Flamingo Road, Bagdad Cafe, Titans, and Law and Order Los Angeles. So that's it. Okay. Bye again for me, and here is the Pick Pluck song. Take care, everyone. So long.